The new 20th anniversary just dropped, and that means there are a ton of new shops to help your character progress in Maplestory. And in this video, we're going to be going over exactly what you should prioritize from these shops depending on what point you are in the game. There are a ton of new shops in this 20th anniversary, and we're going to be going through each one of these shops and going over exactly what you should purchase from these shops to help your character progress as fast as possible. Now, one thing to note is there are a few shops in this 20th anniversary, and those are going to be the Victoria Cup Stamp Exchange, the Trophy Exchange, the Badge Exchange, the Meso Shop, and the Long Distance Shop. Now, there's going to be a lot of different ways to get currencies for each of these shops. So for the Victoria Cup Stamp Exchange, essentially all you have to do is kill 1,000 mobs every single day. And once you kill 1,000 mobs every single day, you're just going to go and you're going to open up that UI and you are just going to check yourself in, and that is going to give you the Stamp Exchange currency. The next shop is going to be the Trophy Shop. What this Trophy Shop is essentially a shop that gives you currency based off the bosses that you kill in the game. You are capped out at 2,000 trophies every single week, and depending on what bosses you're killing in the game, you will get a select amount of trophies. The shop that comes after this is going to be the Badge Exchange. Now, the way that you're actually going to get currency for this shop is going to be participating in the mini games in this event. For me, for example, I've been doing the soccer mini game, and essentially all you have to do is win one game and you can complete the daily check-in, and that is just going to be in the Victoria Cup UI, and you'll just go to the collection book and you can just go to fill and complete, and it will give you your currency for this shop. The next shop is going to be the Meso Shop. Of course, there is going to be no way to obtain currency for the shop other than just farming. And then the last but not least shop is going to be the Long Distance Race Shop. Now, the way that you can actually finish and complete this long distance shop is going to be simply by just killing mobs, and they're going to drop these drinks. And depending on how many drinks you do acquire, there is going to be a medal shop. So every single time you acquire a drink, you will get a medal, and you can go and purchase items within this shop by opening the UI and going to Metal Shop. So now that we have everything out of the way of actually how to obtain the currency for all of these shops, let's actually take a dive into these shops. So we're going to start with the Stamp Exchange first. Now, there's a ton of different items in this shop, and there's a enhance section and there's going to be a growth section. So I'm going to start off first as a early game player. What I would first prioritize though is going to be the event ring selector coupons. If you do have the money to cube them, I would try to maybe stray away from the potential scrolls, as these are pretty expensive and they're going to eat a lot of your Stamp Exchange money. Once you do purchase the event ring selector coupons and you do have enough rings to form your Meso and drop break gear, the other thing that you can go and prioritize is going and getting your Arcane River droplet stones. These are going to be very, very important as a newer player in the game, and even as a mid or late game player, to help get your arcanes to 22 stars, as these are very hard to farm in the game since you do get out of Arcane River so quickly. So now that we've kind of covered the early and mid game, if you're an late game or end game player, the most important thing that I would prioritize in this shop is absolutely going to be the flames. The flames, as you guys know, especially E-flames, are extremely hard to acquire in Reboot, and I would highly take advantage of purchasing all of these E-flames from this shop. And even the red flames, although you can buy the red flames, this is essentially 2 bill worth of flames in the shop, so I would 100% prioritize these flames as a late or end game player. And if you already have prioritized these, the next best option is going to be these arcane droplet stones. These are going to be great for mules as well. So now that we've kind of gone over the enhanced section of the shop, let's take a look at the growth section of this shop. And if I was going to be an early game player, the number one thing that I would 100% prioritize is either going to be these arcane symbol selector coupons or these node stones. These are extremely hard to come by as a new player, especially if you don't have a lot of drop rate. So if you are a newer player in the game and you're looking for easy ways to gain damage, these node stones and arcane symbol selector coupons are going to be very, very good for you. And then of course, if you're somebody who is in the mid game and you're working on Legion, the next best thing to purchase from the shop is going to be the extreme growth potions. There are 100 of these potions in this shop, and if you are somebody who is not already 6k or 8k Legion, these are extremely good. So I would 100% prioritize these if you are somebody who is trying to get to 6 or 8k Legion. After you've went went and purchased the arcane symbol selectors or node stones, I would highly prioritize potentially getting a legendary circulator. This is going to be very, very good as a new player or somebody who's trying to make gains on a mule. These are very, very good. And the other thing from this growth shop is going to be the special medal of honor. These are actually very, very good. This is 1.5 million honor experience, which is very hard to come by. The only way to actually get honor is from bossing and farming mobs, and you do not get a lot at all. So having a lot of these in a shop is very, very good for anybody in the game. So after you've purchased these items within the shop, the next other thing that I would look to prioritize, especially as a early, mid, or even late game player, is going to be these trait boost potions. So a lot of people actually undervalue these trait boost potions, but these are actually very, very good, as these pretty much directly give you damage in Maplestory without you having to spend any money at all. For those of you who do not know, if you open up your professions skill tab, you're going to see these traits, and you're going to see that these are traits that actually give you a decent amount of damage in Maplestory. For example, ambition is going to give you 10% IED, empathy is going to give you buff duration, insight is going to be giving you elemental resistance, which essentially is almost a 1-to-1 to final damage. Willpower is going to be giving you status resistance, and then diligence and of course charm, being able to unlock the pocket slot. But if you've already unlocked the pocket slot, upgrading your insight and your empathy and your ambition is going to be a great way to gain damage in Maplestory without having to spend any money at all. So I would highly prioritize getting these trait boost potions. So if you are somebody who is a late game player or an end game player, really the only thing to purchase from this growth shop is either going to be the VIP buff selector coupons or is going to be the magnificent growth pots. There's not a ton of stuff to buy in this as a late game player or an end game player, but you can take advantage of almost everything in here. So now that we've covered the snap exchange shop, let's go over the trophy exchange shop and what I would prioritize buying if I were an early, mid, late game, or end game player. So a lot of stuff in this shop is actually really, really cheap versus the amount of exchange that you get per week. You do get 2,000 trophies per week, which is actually a lot considering how much this stuff actually costs in this shop. But if I were a early game player, the number one thing that I would probably go and try and prioritize is going to be the sacred symbol coupons. You can get 250 of the Cernium coupons, 150 of the Arcus, 120 of the Odium, 70 of the Shangri-La, 40 of the Arteria coupons, and 25 of the Carcion symbols. So if you're somebody who just hit level 260, these Cernium symbols are going to be a ton of value for you, as these are obviously going to help you train in maps more efficiently and also give you straight final damage to the grandest bosses. Another thing that's going to be great for anybody at any point in the game in the shop is going to be these Karma and Karma Black E-Flames. Of course, you can't get these anywhere else in Reboot, so I would highly prioritize getting these flames depending at whatever level you are in the game. Now, of course, if you don't have best in slot gear, I would not prioritize getting these flames at all. If you have Apso gear or CRA gear, I would not worry about using these E-Flames or Black Flames on those items. But if you do have arcane pieces, or if you do have like an arcane weapon, you absolutely can prioritize using these flames on those items. If you do not have best in slot gear though, I would not use Black Flames on that gear unless you really just need some sort of easy damage upgrade. So after these symbols and the flames, the next best thing to prioritize in this shop is going to be the Arcane River Droplet Stones as an early or mid game player. And of course, these can be good for literally any player in the game as well too, depending if you're working on mules, as you are always going to need Droplet Stones to help progress whatever character you are working on. And then of course, if you have nothing else left to buy in the shop, the 3x coupons are going to be a great option. You can only buy 2 per day, which is a little unfortunate, but this is going to be something that is going to expedite your progression in the game. And the other thing that's really, really good and I've been taking advantage of is going to be these VIP boosters. This is really good if you're just trying to get a mule up to 250 as fast as possible if you are training them. But even if you're working on your main, these VIP boosters are very, very good. And then as always, the special medal of honor is going to be an absolute must to purchase. This is 3 million honor EXP, and we actually do have an inner ability event coming up very, very soon. So if you are trying to get a better inner ability, I would highly prioritize getting the special medal of honors. For the chaos circulators and the black circulators, these aren't going to be super important for a lot of players, as these really don't matter unless you're min-maxing some sort of inner ability. So for most players, I would stay away from the black circulators or the chaos circulators unless you are trying to min-max your inner ability. But other than that, the shop is amazing. There's a ton of stuff that you can buy. There are so many flames in the shop. shop to take advantage of, and there are a ton of symbols. The next shop that we're going to be looking at is the badge exchange. Now, of course, this shop is absolutely subjective to the player. This is only going to be cosmetic items only. You can get damage skin extraction coupons as well. These are really good if you want to take your unit damage skin from your main and move it over to a mule. One thing to note though, if you do use a damage skin extraction coupon, it will take that damage skin from the character that you use it on and put it on whatever character that it is put onto. So you will lose that damage skin. It's not going to duplicate that damage skin and put it on a mule as well. You're going to lose it on the character that you extracted from, and you'll gain it on the character that you use it on. But this shop, all subjective. Whatever you want to purchase, it all is going to be cosmetic items only. Really, really cool. There's outfits on here, different NPCs to cosplay as. As usual, the Meso Shop is absolutely terrible. I'm not going to lie. There's literally never anything good to purchase in this shop, and it's a little unfortunate. I would like to see Nexon potentially change something with this shop in the future to make these black flames and e-flames a bit cheaper, because 750 mil for a black flame and 500 mil for an e-flame is a bit outlandish if you ask me. One of the coolest things that I think in this shop is this skin coupon selector. We've actually never had these skins before in Reboot, so if you are somebody who's looking to get a one-off skin that has not been around too often, these skin selector coupons that turn your skin into a certain kind of marble color is really, really cool. And then there is also a special tab as well. This special tab has different kind of outfits on here, and then it also does have a Lydium heart. If you are looking to get a heart on a mule as a later end game player, you could potentially look at picking this up in the future. If you are an early game player, absolutely do not buy this, so we are going to be getting a fairy heart in this event. And then last but not least, we're going to be going over the long distance shop. There is not a ton of stuff to purchase in this shop, but I just want to go over what I would prioritize and what you should prioritize if you are a newer player or an end game player in the game. So if you are a newer player in the game and you do not have anywhere near a maxed out V matrix, 100% prioritize these nodes. Your 5th job is going to be the best way for you to actually gain damage. If you are somebody, however, who has a good known stone income and you do have a decently upgraded 5th job, the next best thing is going to be these arcane symbols. There are going to be a total of 500 symbols in here, so it's going to give you quite a bit of levels on your arcane symbols as well. And then if you are somebody who's working on Legion and you're around 2 to 4k Legion and you're trying to make that push to 6 to 8k Legion, highly prioritize getting these extreme growth potions. There are 100 of them in the shop. There's a total of 200 just from these shops alone, which is absolutely insane. But if none of these other items in this shop have any value to you and you're more of an end game player, 100% value these VIP boosters. One thing to note though is that you can only use 10 of these per day. So even if you purchase 20 of them, you're only going to be able to use the 10 that are limited to you daily. But these are very nice to have. I've been using these a ton on the brand new Mo Shop class. These give a ton of value in the 220s to 230s. It helps speed up progression so much. So 100% value these if none of these other options in the shop have any value to you. So now that we have finished going over all these shops and what I would recommend players purchasing, let me know what you guys are going to be prioritizing in this shop below. Are you guys going to be prioritizing the flames? Are you guys going to be prioritizing the droplets? Are you a newer player, end game player? What are you guys going to be prioritizing in these shops? But I hope that this video did help a few of you make the decision on what you should be prioritizing in these brand new event shops. And yeah, I'm extremely excited for this event. This event is so good, and I hope you guys are as well too. But that's going to wrap up the video for today, guys, and until next time, I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.